Well, Zimbabwe's former vice president, whose sacking led to last week's army takeover, has urged President Robert Mugabe to resign immediately. Emmerson Mnangagwa said he fled abroad 2 weeks ago when he learned of an alleged plot to kill him, and he would not return to Zimbabwe until he was sure of his security. But reports are that Mnangagwa is on his way back to the country. Meanwhile, about 100 people or more are demonstrating against Mugabe's rule on the road leading to his private residence in Harare. In other developments, a cabinet meeting called by Mugabe, which was due to start this morning, but hasn't yet started due to the governing Zanu-PF party, which has warned its ministers not to attend that cabinet meeting. All right, well, let's get a look at what's happening at the moment in Zimbabwe. We're joined via Skype by SABC reporter Norma Bolani. She's in Harare. Norma, good afternoon to you. Tell us from where you are, from what you've experienced, what's the mood like in Zimbabwe today? We know that there are protests underway ahead of those impeachment proceedings. Exams for students have been postponed. Are people still optimistic? What's the feeling you're getting?
Yes, most definitely, Natasha. As you can hear behind me, there's a lot of noise happening because people are praying out loud. There's actually a church service here at the African Unity Square in front of the Parliament building where the impeachment processes are expected to begin shortly. They're very confident in the Zanu-PF MPs actually making sure that this process goes ahead. They're saying that it's time for a new era. We've been hearing that since Saturday. People are very, very happy about what's happening here in Harare.
All right, time for a new era. Reports are that support has rallied behind Mnangagwa to lead the ruling party once Mugabe is unseated. How do people feel about this new leadership coming in? What are their thoughts about someone like Emmerson Mnangagwa?
Well, basically, everyone is saying that Mnangagwa is the right man to take them forward, to pick them up from this long economic slum. They're saying that, they've suffered too long under Mugabe's rule, but many of them blaming First Lady Grace Mugabe, saying that her lavish lifestyle is the reason why the country has plunged into such economic turmoil. Many of them saying that, Robert Mugabe is not recognizing where he's failing, and that's due to the pressures or the influence that First Lady Grace Mugabe is having on him.
Absolutely, and it could be a few days still before we get any outcome from this impeachment process, and a number of things could go right or could go wrong. But when it's all said and done, to get the country back onto a stable footing, obviously uppermost in people's minds is the economy. What's the sentiment around this, around getting the country back to where it should be?
Everyone is speaking about the economy, speaking about jobs. We spoke to a man earlier on saying that his child actually studied to be a medical doctor, but he's selling cigarettes on the streets just to make sure that the family has food on the table. So they're saying the first point of reference once an interim government comes in is that they need to look at ways on how Zimbabwe can pick itself up from the situation. The cost of living here is really expensive, Natasha. If I could make an example, a can of an energy drink that you buy in South Africa for 18 Rand actually costs 45 Rand here. So you can imagine the plight of these Zimbabweans.
Absolutely. And Norma, we're still just waiting for those proceedings to get underway today. Any indication as to what time today impeachment proceedings will actually start?
Well, yes, we've been speaking to the local media, and they're saying that it could have a bit of a delay due to the fact that the Parliament building is not big enough to host the 350 MPs from both houses, the Senate as well as the National Assembly. So it might seem as if there might be a vote first to take the sitting to the International Conference Center so that the sitting is there and to make enough room for everyone to be able to be seated.
All right, Norma, thanks so much for that update. Our Norma Bolani live from Harare, giving us a sense of the streets of Harare today as that impeachment process is set to get underway. We'll keep you updated with the situation in Zimbabwe.